You're listening to a GWP weather update. It's Sunday, April 26th, 2026, and in this afternoon's weather update, we're going to be showing you that risk for severe thunderstorms over the next 24 to 36 hours here across the state of Missouri. So let's start off by looking at some of the different weather alerts that we have here across the country. We've got that severe thunderstorm watch already in place, including Kansas City until 7 p.m. this evening. We've also got some flood watches for the next several hours. We're going to be dealing with some of that heavy rainfall potential. And so, something else that we're dealing with here across the country today is we do have a big fire risk, some strong winds, and some dry conditions across New Mexico, Texas, and Oklahoma. So, that's something else that's going on as far as when it comes to different types of hazardous weather that we're dealing with here across the country. So, again, as we mentioned, we have some pretty strong storms out there at this point that are severe warned north of Wichita. These storms will continue to move east and will move into our northwestern counties as we get into the evening hours. So, of course, once that does happen, that is when our live stream will begin. Now, yesterday, of course, there was a live stream scheduled. We didn't have any severe storms in the area, so we did not do a severe weather live stream. We did do a live stream over the breaking news that we had last evening, particularly with the shooting there at the White House dinner that took place. Of course, that is a live stream that we did, but the severe weather live stream was canceled because, again, there wasn't any severe weather. So, again, those will only be done if necessary, if these storms here in Kansas, or if we do get additional storm development, which we're expecting here across Oklahoma and Kansas. And if these storms move into our region across the state of Missouri later this afternoon, we will start that live stream. But as of right now, all of these storms are across central Kansas. And overall, that's where the highest risk for today is going to be for those severe storms. Looking at the Storm Prediction Center's severe weather outlook for today. So this is for your Sunday. This runs all the way until 7 a.m. on Monday. As we mentioned, it goes all the way through the evening and overnight hours until the next morning, and then it resets. So this particular outlook goes all the way through 7 a.m. for Monday morning. We've got northern Oklahoma and central and eastern Kansas under that enhanced risk. That does include the Kansas City area. So our far northwestern counties are under that enhanced risk for severe weather. That's a 3 out of 5 on that SPC scale. We also have in the yellow an area that's under that slight risk. This is where the majority of us are at, and that is a 2 out of 5 on that severe weather scale. Either way, we do still have a chance for severe weather here across the entire state of Missouri. As far as the different hazards that are going to be in play, really the majority of our region is under that 5% category. We are also under that hatched area, which means that strong tornadoes are possible. So we're not only looking at the possibility of tornadoes, but we're also looking at the possibility of ones that are long tracked, that are a little bit on the stronger side and cause a little bit more damage. And so that's something that we have that concern for here across western and central Missouri. So again, we're under that intensity 1 scale, which is EF2s or stronger are going to be possible. The wind risk, that's actually going to be our biggest threat for this evening across far western Missouri, but then also that hail risk is going to be with us as well. We are under that hatched area for 2-inch or greater hail across central Kansas, and that does include us here into western Missouri. So again, multiple different hazards are going to be in play, and we're going to have multiple different rounds of thunderstorms as we go through the afternoon and evening hours here. So let's go ahead and show you the forecast here. This is from Tropical Tidbits. The HER model is what we're looking at here for today's severe storms. And so you'll notice that again, as we go into the evening hours, 4, 5, 6 o'clock, thunderstorms begin to move into our northwestern counties. Then we'll start to get additional thunderstorm development across Oklahoma and Kansas. There are some weather models that are suggesting that this could actually happen a few hours in advance. So I want to warn you about that. It does say 7 o'clock is when it'll move in here, but some of the models are saying it could be as early as 3 or 4 o'clock. So anytime after 3 o'clock, that's when you're going to want to be prepared for these severe storms. 9 o'clock, thunderstorms continue to build, and then our first round will move into our northern counties. Again, our southern counties will remain dry for the majority of this evening. Here's 11 o'clock. Then as we go into the overnight hours, another round of thunderstorms is going to be possible. So as we mentioned, this is not not just an afternoon and evening event. This is also going to happen during the overnight hours for us tonight. And so you'll want to make sure that your phone is on so that you can get those life-saving weather alerts, those wireless emergency alerts that are issued from the government. And those alerts are only issued if there is a destructive tag on the storms. So what do we mean by that? Well, we mean that you're only going to get a life-saving weather alert if the winds are 80 miles per hour or stronger, or if the hail is baseball size or bigger. Tornado warnings will also sound off those wireless emergency alerts. So that is, I guess, the threshold, you could say, for when those alerts are issued. So again, you'll want to make sure to have your phones on so that you'll be able to get those alerts. So then as we go into the early morning hours, thunderstorms will continue to move through, and here's 5 o'clock. Then they will start to move out of the region, but then we're not quite done just yet because we have another round of severe thunderstorms that is expected on Monday. Here is the Storm Prediction Center's severe weather outlook for day 2, otherwise known as Monday. This goes from 7 a.m. Monday all the way through Monday evening, and you'll notice that our far eastern counties are under that slight to enhanced risk for severe storms. So we're looking at a 2 or a 3 out of 5, depending on your location. And then our far western counties are under a marginal risk. So again, this is mainly for our central and eastern counties. But again, all of the areas across all of the state of Missouri really will be under that risk as we go on through Monday. Let's look at that tornado risk. Far eastern Missouri, we've definitely got the risk. We're in that 10% category. We also have that hatched area where we're looking at EF2s or stronger. We're even looking at EF3s are stronger across Illinois, Iowa, and far northeastern Missouri. So again, that's where the highest tornado threat is going to be on Monday. Wind is going to be a really big concern. We have a 40, or we're under that 45% category. So that really indicates high probabilities of some strong winds. And then here for central Missouri, our big threat is going to be the hail. 2-inch or greater hail is going to be possible. Eastern counties are under that 30% risk for large hail. So again, we're looking at, pretty high risk as we go into your or on your Monday across the area. And so this is all going to come from multiple rounds of thunderstorms. We could actually see 2 or 3 lines of thunderstorms throughout the day. So let's go ahead and show you that here. So one line moving through central Missouri as we get into the early morning hours, a second one moving through the Kansas City area. Now we're looking at 9 o'clock. That first line has now moved into far eastern Missouri. These first 2 rounds of thunderstorms during the morning are going to have the lowest risk overall for severe weather, but we could still be looking at severe storms with both of these complexes of thunderstorms. Once we get around lunchtime, these 2 lines of storms will have moved into Illinois. So our morning severe weather threat is going to be between 6 a.m. and 11 a.m. That is going to be our window for those morning round of thunderstorms. Again, the morning round of thunderstorms, there is still a severe weather risk, but the risk is low. But again, it's not zero. As we saw last year on April 2nd, there was 2 tornadoes that moved through Vernon County in our region that were during the morning hours. We cannot sleep on these storms during the overnight and morning hours. So again, that is something that we have to watch out for. But as far as our greatest chance for severe weather, at least across central and eastern Missouri, that is going to happen between about 3 p.m. and 7 p.m. The thunderstorms are going to develop right over the state of Missouri, which that actually makes them, in a sense, a little bit more dangerous because we can't see them coming towards our direction because they're going to develop right over us. And so that is something that we really need to watch out for. Now, depending on how much instability there is, will depend on whether or not these storms even develop. There is a possibility these storms don't even develop across the state of Missouri, but the risk is still there, and if they do develop, they will likely strengthen very quickly. 6 o'clock, this line is still going to be moving through. By about 8 o'clock, that's when our severe weather risk in the state of Missouri, at least for our viewing area, will be over. So again, we really have to watch about the next 30 hours. We're looking at a window during this afternoon, another window during the overnight hours, another window during the morning hours, and then another window tomorrow afternoon. So those are going to be our different opportunities for severe weather, starting at about 3 or 4 o'clock today and continuing until about midnight, and then another round between 5 a.m. and 11 a.m. And then that final round is going to be from about 3 p.m. to about 8 o'clock. So that is going to be our timeline for our multiple different rounds of storms that we are going to be experiencing. And again, as we already mentioned at the top of this recording, we are already seeing some of those storms develop across central Kansas. All right, well, that is it for today in your weather update. We will keep you updated here on GWP.